Fox welcomes you back live here in Daytona. The Budweiser Shootout, 24 drivers who have won something rather successful. Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, the gang all here excited about the 10th season of NASCAR on Fox, with the guys who call it as we head upstairs. The gentlemen
at the top of the hill.
At the top of the Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy. Guys, hope you're ready to roll again for another season.
Thanks, Chris. Certainly we are. In this 24-car field, there are 8 former winners of the Budweiser Shootout, led by Tony Stewart with 3. Darrell Waltrip, you competed in this race a dozen times with a victory in 1981. How do you win it?
Well, I like this race because there's no points. It's only about the trophy and the money and the glory. And that's, I wish we had one of these a month. You know, every month we'd have one race, no points. But that's what makes tonight so much fun. Plus, the cars are super fast right now.
Yeah. Larry, you're going to learn everything as a crew chief every time that car goes out on the racetrack, but what do you most need to learn in these first 25 laps to get through the next 50?
Well, in the practice that we had on Thursday night, there were some ill-handling driving race cars. And as Chris and Jeff talked about in the pre-race, we've got some cars at the back of the pack that had to go to backup cars. They've not even seen the racetrack. So the thing they want to do is learn all they can for that first 25 laps. And then unlike our normal races, we get that 10-minute break. Make those adjustments. That's when you take the gloves off. But we do know this. In that 50-lap second segment, there will be a pit stop. Could be caution, could be green. That could be critical in who wins and loses this races.
Try not to make too many enemies in that first 25.
All right. 28 drivers are eligible for this race. 24 will start it. We start with the 12 chase drivers from 2009. We add in former Sprint Cup champions who are still active. And then 3 drivers who have won the Budweiser Shootout in the past, plus drivers who have won Sprint Cup point races at Daytona. Sprinkle in the reigning Rookie of the Year, Joey Logano, and you have 28 drivers eligible. 24 of them are competing. Everybody strapped in, ready to go for the first checkered flag of 2010. Everyone waiting for these words.
And now, race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Grammy Award winner, Zach Brown of the Zach Brown Band.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
NASCAR on Fox, ready to roll with the first race for the Sprint Cup drivers of 2010. Next. The engines have fired. This grandstands have a nice crowd and a lot of anticipation in the crisp, cool air here in Daytona Beach. These drivers drew for starting positions Thursday night.
16. 16! 11. 2-1. Take it. All right.
That's not a 2.
That is 19. Hey, well, not too bad.
That's about my average start in this race.
Where do we go? Oh! Oh! Good job, buddy. Well,
4 6-packs full of bottles and flags lined up there on the speed stage. And Carl Edwards, as you saw, drew the pole for this year's shootout. Let's get downstairs to our NASCAR on Fox All-Star pit crew, beginning with Chris Devoda.
Well, Mike, hard to believe anything would make a 4-time consecutive champion nervous, but Jimmy Johnson says it's just that, a case of the nerves that continues to this day to keep him motivated. Johnson and his wife Chandra expecting their first child this year. Johnson expecting a second Bud Shootout win tonight. To Matt Yoko.
Chris, and no drivers look more forward to coming back to Daytona in 2010 than Matt Kenseth, who won the Daytona 500 last year. Came out of the box with that big win, but they didn't have the season that they had hoped for. Now they're back at the beach, and they're looking ahead to next weekend, as crew chief Drew Blixendorfer told me. They are really looking for some good notes to come out of this race. Build on that notebook for next week as they go after another win in the Great American Race with this new package. Steve Burns?
Well, Matt, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is trying to bounce back from a disappointing 2009 season. As crew chief Lance McGrew said, it is critically important that they get off to a hot start. He's already qualified for the front row of the Daytona 500. The car, when they unloaded it for tonight's race, was not good, but they have gotten it to the point where he can be aggressive, Dick Berggren.
Here's your underdog to cheer for. Kurt Busch crashed heavily in practice. He is in a backup car. That car has never before been raced. He starts all the way in the back of the pack. 5 times he's been second here at Daytona, never won. Maybe tonight. He drives car number 2.
Thanks, folks. 24 cars rolling off behind the safety cars. Let's have a look at the Budweiser starting grid for tonight's 32nd Budweiser Shootout. Denny Hamlin, Jeff Gordon starting out back. Backup car for Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Juan Montoya, Casey Kane, Derek Cope, and Kyle Busch in row 9. Jimmy Johnson, Michael Waltrip, Kenny Schrader, the '89 winner with Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte and Dale Jr., John Andretti with Jamie McMurray, Matt Kenseth and Jeff Burton in the 4th row, Mark Martin, the Daytona 500 pole sitter with Greg Biffle, Ryan Newman and Brian Vickers, and on the front row, Kevin Harvick and Carl Edwards. Now, Harvick did not practice, but since he was the named driver who earned the start on the outside pole, anybody can practice any car. Harvick keeps the spot. If they had put a replacement driver in for the race, that driver would have to go out back.
Yeah, both of his teammates drove that car in practice. Clint Boyer in the first practice and then Jeff Burton in the second practice.
Let's see how he feels. What do you say?